Hello everyone again. So my name is Tessie and I am passionate about education. I'm the mother of 2 teenagers, boys, and as I have 2 incredible boys, I always wanted a girl, and now I have millions of girls around the world. So I'm very engaged in education with my foundation, Professors Without Borders, which is now 4 years old almost. We have launched in the UK, and we are now in Thailand, we're in India, we're in Sierra Leone, Uganda, and in Senegal this summer. Other than that, I have my own consultancy, Finding Butterflies Consultancy, which I launched this year. And also my consultancy is very heavily involved with educational projects and with women inclusion projects. Clients of that include Montessori International. Montessori is the most used curriculum in the world, where I'm the partner of education globally, and Vodafone Foundation and Vodafone Global, which is very involved in girls in STEM. Other clients of that as well are the UAE government and other governments around the world. Other than that, I try to organize networking sessions where a lot of like-minded colleagues, such as all of us, can meet each other and talk about topics close to their hearts. And often the conversation always comes back to education, because education is an enabler for the future in all domains. It is something my father told me, and someone really special to my heart told me, that no one can take away from you. There's always books, there's always something to learn, and invest in that, because only like that, growth happens. So, to address the topic of this panel then, I prepared a little note on how Professors Without Borders addresses this specific issue on gender equality. Gender parity, as it is in the panel, as it named, is a topic of discussion in all topics which breaks and makes a society. Education and higher education, for the sake of this panel, is no different. Let me delve a little bit into that topic. For my NGO, we address SDG 4, as I mentioned before, but also SDG 5, gender equality, which is ensure women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision-making in political, economic, and public life. As I said before, half of our courses are taught in only women-led institutions. We hold workshops on public health in Sierra Leone. We work with, in Senegal, on entrepreneur skills for the women in the community. We create new opportunities to educate and empower women, helping them to enjoy and be fully participants in political, economic, and public life. So what does that mean for Asia? According to the Asian Society Online, 11 countries out of Southeast Asia include over 550 million people. Despite great linguistic and cultural diversity, the region is characterized by the relatively favorable position of women, comparison with neighboring East and South Asia. It is argued that factors such as that daughters were not a financial burden, seen through bride prices, and that women had often prominent roles, which I already have definitely witnessed myself in the few days I have been here. Just looking at this panel and other women in this room and what they have achieved in their own merits. Because I do believe that it is not who you marry, it is what you do. It's walk the talk. Culture and the way we perceive and respect women for who they are is essential for the development of comprehensive and inclusive societal structure that favor the advancement of boys and girls equally in all domains. Let me tell you that in Europe, we're still not there. As I said before, as an example for me personally, when I got divorced, I was downgraded to a name. That I had 9 years of education was not enough. That I had 9 years of university education, that I had my companies and everything, it was not good enough. So rather than just pointing the fingers at developing countries, we in Europe are also not there yet. Therefore, I believe it is crucial to value women equally as men for who they are and not for their gender, or societal structure, to value them for their own merits and actions, starting from a very young age, and to include this discussion especially in the educational system. Talking about culture, therefore, according to Asian Society Online, it is argued that the rise of the centralized state and the spread of new ideologies and religion, beliefs within the traditional culture of the community in question, has influenced a more privileged view on males and the suppression of women. It is true, the number in high office position of women has gone up. However, it is only demonstrated by the 1-digit percentile. This is also reflected in higher education. As another example of higher education and gender parity, when you have women academics and male academics in London, for example, where I'm part as well, they are part of the staff and part of the students. However, when you go and approach an agent to, for example, publish your book, it is more likely for a man to get the book contract than a woman. What does that entail? That automatically the readers will see more books that men have written and more references are being made to men. You do the math and you see what is happening here. So, as looking as women in higher education then, I would like to finish the education, and what happens after the educational period is over is that women still today are being seen as the main caretaker as well of children, in terms of raising them, feeding them. Gender stereotypes in textbooks, especially at schools, often reinforce this gender bias. This also applies to different religious practices. If we want gender parity to work, we need to also look into the logistics in terms of childcare and the revisiting of the traditional family structure, where men are often the dominant leaders. How society views the family structure is key to be included into the conversation of gender parity, let it be in higher education or in any other domain. However, as I said in my keynote before, Thailand, Southeast Asia especially, has done some incredibly inspiring work in the advancement of women empowerment. And I think today this panel and this conference will clip a bit more on that, and that we can raise the conversation more and create together more projects and a relationship, a global relationship, to make this world a more equal place for all. Thank you.